Who killed Roman Reigns? We're still not 100% sure, but we did get one step closer, and I'm pleased to say it wasn't me. Some asshole in the comments last week was like, I think Simon Miller killed Roman Reigns. No, I did not. If I was going to try and kill Roman Reigns, I would be upfront about it. Anyway, let's not worry about that for now, and let's get into SmackDown and give the good bits an up and the bad bits a down, because that's what we do here on Ups and Downs. Also, cheap little plug, I'll talk about it more at the end of the video. You may have seen in the internet ether that Kayfabe News, I'm sure you've read it, now has a YouTube channel. Maybe you should go and check it out. Maybe the host looks a little bit like me. But it's not me. Let's up those downs. SmackDown started with Roman Reigns telling us in the back that he knows that Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan want an apology, but he will address that in the ring later tonight. And imagine that had been in the advert for SmackDown if you were just flicking through channels in the week and you saw a commercial for SmackDown and it went, will Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan get an apology from Roman Reigns? Tune in Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central to find out. It was then time for Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston. Give it up. Kofi was out first, confirming that it is going to be the Viper versus himself for the WWE Championship at Clash of Champions, and then also reiterated, look, everybody just needs to calm down. I'm just trying to prove myself as the top guy in this company. Randy Orton then appeared on the big screen, and he started to read some fan mail from a child. Now, this was actually hilarious because it was quite obvious an adult had written this. No child actually talks like this. But as it turned out, the kid who had written this was Kai, who is Kofi Kingston's own son. And Randy Orton was like, well, look, I was going to reply to Kai, but then I realized I just so happened to be staying in the same hotel as the Kingston family. Maybe I'll go pay them a little visit. As you can guess, Kofi didn't like this. He marched to the back. They had a big brawl. But the WWE champion made a huge mistake because Orton gave him a draping DDT off a crate right into the concrete floor. Don't think that's good for Kofi Kingston's head. It did mean he had to go and see some medical professionals, and on the door in the room that he was in, like massive letters just said, trainer, doctor, medical help. It was a little bit stupid, and when Big E came out of there, he was all wide-eyed, and he's like, I'm gonna teach Randy Orton a lesson. And yeah, we do get that match later. A match that we were gonna get right now, though, was Ali versus Buddy Murphy, and it gets a round of applause. Just flipping brilliant, giving it up. It was exactly the kind of match that you'd expect from these two, and it just put a huge smile on my face. At one point, Ali did this move where like Buddy Murphy was hanging in the ropes, and he jumped at him from the other ropes and did some kind of tornado DDT. I don't think I've seen anything like it, and when it did happen, I literally made this noise. It also led to the finish where Ali hit the 450 from the top, and that's right, Ali is now going to the second round of the King of the Ring. And a big criticism of this seems to be, oh great, Buddy Murphy had all this momentum, and then we've taken him out back, and we've shot him dead. But look, that was the same for Ali back in January before he got injured, and I think both guys come out the other side of this looking far better than they did when they went in. If WWE all of a sudden decides to stop using Buddy Murphy, it just will happen. I mean, it could happen, it's WWE, we never know, but it would be a really, really dumb decision. Over the last few weeks, he has proven that he is underutilized, as everyone keeps saying, best kept secret, best kept secret. Not anymore. He's out in the wild. I'm happy Ali won, but let's keep pushing Buddy Murphy to the moon. These two shook hands afterwards, so all is good in their worlds. And look, fair play to WWE. I'm enjoying how the tournament has been booked so far. We have winners, we have losers. There's been a little shenanigans with Kevin Owens and Elias, but whatever. We then entered Bizarro World because in the back, Bayley was talking to Ember Moon as Ember Moon just kissed her ass, was saying that she was the better woman at SummerSlam, that she's the face of the division. She may as well have just got down on her knees and started going, oh, Bayley, you are the greatest person in the world. But then what really confused me was Lacey Evans, who we haven't seen for weeks, by the way, just strolled in and she was all like, ladies, you are trash, you are scum, and Bayley, I'm gonna take you on later and we're gonna have a fight. And all I could think was, if you've only been watching SmackDown for like 1 week or 2 weeks, you'll be like, who the hell is this southern woman? A random person just appears to call some other people garbage. I can't make any sense out of it. Down. We are going full in with this Miz versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn feud though, and to be honest, I kind of forgot that happened 7 days ago, but it's back, and I'm still utterly intrigued because it's just so perplexing, therefore it's going to get it up. It began with Miz in the ring on the microphone saying that, look, Sami Zayn is just a loser and is trying to ride the coattails of Shinsuke Nakamura because he is already the champion. But then this all went down a weird path because Miz also said that one, if Shinsuke Nakamura or Sami Zayn thinks beating him is the road to success, they're wrong. But that doesn't matter, Miz, because Nakamura's already the IC champ, so he's kind of already success. And two, he said because of him, the Intercontinental Championship was one of the most important titles, if not the most important title in WWE. I don't know what show you've been watching, Miz, but we are watching very different shows. As much as I'd like it to be, it is not. Sami Zayn then came out and said that The Miz is wrong, and instead he is trying to liberate Shinsuke Nakamura, and then of course the bad guys beat the good guy up. And I think at Clash of Champions, we are getting The Miz versus Shinsuke Nakamura with Sami Zayn in Shinsuke's corner for the IC title. What happened to Ali, I don't know. That's another reason why I'm happy he got through to round 2 of the King of the Ring. The real reason I did like this is because at least we are talking about the IC belt. Don't forget there was a time where it may as well have been a ghost. You were more likely to see, I don't know, Winston Churchill. Some points I'd be like, I bet I see Winston Churchill on SmackDown or Raw before I see that title. I'll take it. Kevin Owens continues to act like an utter panderer though, and I don't even think that is a word. But here, he went into Shane McMahon's office, Shane McMahon, who thankfully wasn't on SmackDown at all this evening, but Elias was there, and he just treated him so nice. He was like, hey Elias, where's Shane McMahon? Elias was like, oh, he's not here. And then he was like, oh, is he gonna be home soon? Elias was like, oh, I don't know. And then Kevin Owens just like walked off and went, cheers. Thankfully this like made up for itself later on in the show. When I was watching this, I was like, we've given Kevin Owens the stunner, but he ain't no Stone Cold. Imagine Stone Cold had ever done that, he would not. Bayley versus Lacey Evans was next, and while I don't understand why we even booked this in the first place, it was an okay match that I enjoyed for a few minutes. Even more craziness happened when Charlotte Flair just walked out halfway through and proceeded to do absolutely nothing, and before long, Bayley had overpowered Lacey Evans. She hit her with the big elbow, 1, 2, 3. I mean, that was cool. You know, she is the SmackDown Women's Champion. We wanted to look strong. We wanted to look dominant. Charlotte walked off. Lacey Evans was upset. Onwards we go. We could have not put this on the show and it would have made no difference at all. Bryan and Ryan were then backstage and they said they are not going to leave the building tonight until they get their apology from Roman Reigns. I absolutely love this. Our whole show built around somebody saying sorry. Let's hope it's not Elton John. It's the hardest word. Randy Orton followed up on this by beating Big E. Give it up. And here's the thing, Orton can't lose because he is being built up as the #1 contender for the WWE title, so he's got to look like a badass, which he did here, even though he only got the victory after the RKO when the Revival got involved. And Dash and Dawson stayed around afterwards. They then hit an assisted RKO on Big E. Randy Orton is the man, and he's a damn snake because he got his friends involved. The point is, the Viper has the New Day's number, and he is counting down the days till the pay-per-view where he believes he will reclaim that gold. And as I've said before, and I'll say again, I think Randy Orton winning the title and proving that Kofi Kingston can't beat him until eventually a few months down the line, Kofi does do that, is a better story. But whatever, as long as the Clash of the Champions match is better than the SummerSlam match, because I hated that count-out ending, I'll be a happy camper. Afterwards, we saw Chad Gable getting ready for his King of the Ring match against Shelton Benjamin, who also arrived and started making some short jokes. And the best thing about this is that the commentary team now want you to believe this has been going on for weeks, even though 100% the first incident we saw was actually Chad Gable and Elias. But don't worry about that, you're not meant to remember it. It's like that Men in Black flashy stick thing. Kevin Owens then kicked Elias' ass. Thank goodness for that, give it up. The musician was sat on the King of the Ring throne wearing the King of the Ring crown, saying he just can't wait to be king, because I guess he's a fan of Disney films, before Kevin Owens arrived and he smashed Elias in the face and he hit him with the stunner. He then did just walk off, which kind of crapped over the 24/7 title, but let's be honest, we all know it's a joke. We all just enjoy it for what it is anyway. Owens wasn't interested in it, but of course two people that were R-Truth and Drake Maverick, and they ran down here, and even though R-Truth tried to score the pin, he wasn't able to. Drake Maverick was. He is your new 24/7 champion, and finally he can go and bang his wife. Don't forget, that is the story. Shelton Benjamin versus Chad Gable, Rock 2. Give it up. It was as expected, with plenty of counters and suplexes that made you go wah-hey, wahoo, and I don't really understand why WWE doesn't do more with either of these guys. They're very good at putting on pro wrestling matches, and yes, I know, it kind of sucked that Chad Gable only won after a surprise roll-up finish, the most devastating move in all of WWE, but look, he kept being called short. He's now proven you shouldn't bully people for seeing they're short. He can now go on to the second round. I wouldn't mind if he even won the damn thing. Chad Gable is great. On that note too, Corey Graves, down. Once again, I know it's not him, but having to hear him make countless short joke after short joke, after short joke after short joke, after short joke after short joke after short joke was just really boring. I get it, Chad Gable is a little bit short, but I'm sure there are other people on the roster who are also short. For example, it's Gable versus Andrade next week in the King of the Ring. I don't think there's that much difference in their height. And even if there is, I'm not going to look at it and go, oh, it looks ridiculous. Especially because when I saw Randy Orton next to Dash and Dawson, that did look ridiculous because Randy Orton is so tall, but nobody mentioned that now, did they? It was then time to see if Roman Reigns would apologize, which means the investigation continues. Up. The big dog was in the ring and ready to speak before he was interrupted by his would-be attackers that said, look, Roman, let's just get it done. Please apologize to us. Roman said he wasn't going to do that because he had new footage from the night of the attack. We then saw this footage, and as it turned out, Eric Rowan was behind the crates that had fallen onto Roman Reigns, or at least somebody that looked a lot like Roman Reigns. It's important to point out the footage was very blurry. So yes, while it did look like Rowan, my biggest question as an investigator is why didn't Daniel Bryan just say, no, that's not the recyclable one, that's the same guy we showed you last week. Daniel Bryan did not do that though, and instead he started to slap Eric Rowan as if he was his mother, and Eric Rowan kept saying, it wasn't me, it wasn't me, it wasn't me. Daniel Bryan then got a microphone and started marching towards the ring to tell Rowan also that it wasn't me, it wasn't me, it wasn't me, and that Rowan is a liar, and boy howdy does he hate liars. The big dog didn't care, and he speared Daniel Bryan, and that's how SmackDown went off air. So I presume with this story, we are now meant to think that Rowan is guilty, but we're not sure about Daniel Bryan. So while that is a little bit of an inconsistency with this story, I will repeat myself and say I have enjoyed this narrative. It's just nice having these little cliffhangers at the end of each show, especially when you compare it to what we had on Raw, where absolutely nothing happened. Which brings us to the end of yet another SmackDown. This was kind of another weird show because nothing huge happened. There was nothing that made you go, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I actually kind of found it easy to watch, especially compared to Raw. Like, it was the same kind of thing. Both shows were a bit strange. SmackDown was easier to watch than what we had on Monday night, I guess because it's only 120 minutes. Get that arrow going. It's gonna get an up. Now we move forward to the craziest wrestling weekend we've had in some time, which means over the weekend you can get ups and downs for New Japan Royal Quest, and of course you'll get ups and downs, don't know what I'm holding, for AEW All Out. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about last night's episode of SmackDown and who killed Roman Reigns. Like, share, and subscribe. Head over to WhatCulture.com, read yourself some articles, follow WhatCulture on Twitter, WhatCulture WWE, and watch more videos here on WhatCulture Wrestling. My name is Simon from WhatCulture. Thank you very much for watching. And again, go onto your YouTube device, type in Kayfabe News, find the channel, subscribe, and enjoy listening to some absolute nonsense that I personally think is quite funny. I'll see ya.